I was finally able to pull Starry Knight Todoroki. I may have been a little bit late pulling him, and the banner is about to go away soon, but hopefully this showcase will help you guys decide if you want to put a few hero gems in on the banner or not to try and get him. We are going to be taking on the flame stage of double S difficulty of the VE Tower to start off this showcase, but before we do that, I'm going to go over Todoroki's kit and go over why he is so good for VE Tower. I really do think he's going to be towards the top of the tier list when it comes to VE Tower. He's that good. Now, in terms of Ultra Arena, I'm going to be straight up with you guys from the start. He is not going to be great in Ultra Arena. I don't think he really has a great place in Ultra Arena right now because, like, Ida still exists, right? Fantasy Ida, and Fantasy Ida destroys this Todoroki along with all the other AoE units and stuff like that. But I'll show you guys what he looks like in Arena. I just can't promise it'll be the greatest look for him. A, because mine is only level 90, and B, just because of all the other characters that are out right now in the meta that is going on, he is going to be hard to use, and you'll understand that also when I go over his kit here. For his ability board, I have him up to ability board 10. I do not quite have ability board 10 finished yet all the way. And then on his peace route, I have his level 90 limit unlocked, but past that, I have not leveled him up anymore because I don't have enough stars to level him up as of yet. As for his advanced leveling is completely done for as much as you can get a character done that is not DX'd. So I would say he's actually pretty far along, and this is all you really need. This is probably more than you need for a VE Tower character, but when it comes to Ultra Arena, right, the characters that are 110, level 100, 130, of course, are going to have more of an advantage. So that's another reason that, like, when I showcase this character here coming up in Ultra Arena, he might not look as good as if somebody had a level 130 Todoroki. So keep that in mind. But let's talk about his kit. So his plus Ultra move is Starry Fist of the Ice and Fire. It deals 600% damage to a single opponent with a medium chance of burning the opponent for 3 turns. So first off, it's a single target attack that is not very good for Ultra Arena. But at the same time, it has a medium chance of burning for 3 turns. That is really good for VE Tower, right? And then it continues on and it says shortens character's action skill cooldown time by 1. That's really good because he has cooldown times of 5, so it turns him into a 4-turn cooldown character, which is good. And then it continues on to say also gives all allies a barrier that nullifies 1 hit. So using this Todoroki in Arena, he could actually be decent if you are able to get the speed advantage with your team on the plus ultra turn, because that means if this Todoroki goes first, then he'll give your whole team a barrier that could potentially nullify the whole enemy team's plus ultras, or at least nullify one of the characters plus ultras if they have an attack all. But I believe with characters like the Celebration, Ochako, or Araka, because she has a multi-hit, the barrier doesn't do a whole lot, right? So, like, this is kind of where it comes in. Like, it seems like he'd be good for Ultra Arena, but he's really not all that great. I don't know if it's actually a multi-hit on the plus ultra. I'm thinking, no, I don't think it is. I think it's just her action skill. So it might actually work out. It might be decent. So it could be decent. But in terms of damage, he does only target 1 character. So keep that in mind. His first action skill is Raging Fist. It deals 375% damage to a single opponent with a medium chance of burning the opponent for 3 turns. Once again, amazing for VE Tower being able to burn opponents. In Ultra Arena right now, nullification is just rampant with the new Celebration Deku, and the burning isn't really going to do much for you, right? And then it continues on in the effect to say increases the freezing and frostbite resistances of all allies for 3 turns when used in a successfully executed skill chain. That is awesome, having those resistances, right? But in Ultra Arena, do we really have to deal with freezing and frostbite right now? The answer is no, so that's pretty much useless in Arena. But taking on this specific, or taking on different VE Towers, not this specific one, apologies, but taking on different VE Towers that have freezing and frostbite, that can actually be really useful for your team. And it might be useful in upcoming climax battles and things like that. Who really knows? It could definitely be useful in Club Festival, though. So it's going to have its uses, just not really in Ultra Arena, okay? And then continuing on with that, also increases skill impact by 35% when character's max HP is increased. So increasing your skill impact by 35% is amazing That would be really, really good for Ultra Arena, right? Anytime it basically takes the damage number that you've done to the opponent and multiplies that by 35%, making it hit that much harder. That's really good. So that would be good for Ultra Arena, and that's almost kind of bad for VE Tower because sometimes doing too much damage in VE Tower can be a bad thing. So he's kind of a weird character, right? But then I also kind of glossed over this. It says when used in a successfully executed skill chain, that is a technical hit. Whenever we have a character that has a status element and a technical hit on the same move, that is generally going to be considered a better character for VE Tower. So this Todoroki right here is actually going to be really good for VE Tower, not to mention he has 2 4-turn cooldowns, so I do think he's going to be pretty good. His second action skill is Ice Fog. It deals 225% damage to all opponents. We love an attack, all right. That is good for Ultra Arena right now, with a medium chance of freezing them for 1 turn. So if you're taking on 3 different opponents, you could potentially get 3 freezes with this one move. That's actually pretty good. Like, that's decent status element wise. That's really, really good for VE Tower. Increases max HP of all allies by 20% for 3 turns. So there's that increase in max HP that you want to activate your other effects. Also gives burn resistance to all allies for 3 turns when used in a successfully executed skill chain. So the reason we are taking on the flame stage right now, double S difficulty, is because when Endeavor attacks or you attack him, you're supposed to get burnt. Well, we're going to give ourselves burn resistance, and that's going to help us not get burnt so often or as much, hopefully, assuming it works the right way, right? So that's why we're taking on the flame stage double S difficulty against Endeavor, and I think it'll actually work out for us pretty well here. Continuing down to his auto skills, there's just so much going on with this Todoroki, right? Like, there's so much to talk about with this kit. It's actually crazy. His first auto skill is called Almighty. Increases action skill impact of all allies by 30% when character's max HP is increased. So if you use his second action skill first, you increase the action skill impact of all your allies by 30%. That's actually nuts. That is so good. That is good for Ultra Arena if you could run this character in Ultra Arena. As far as VE Tower goes, it's okay, but once again, just keep in mind it's going to make you kill the enemy faster than you might want, so you got to be careful with that. But 30% skill impact increase for all allies is really good. If you couple that with the, 35% that he gets up here, also increases skill impact by 35% up here on this first action skill, he is giving himself a 65% skill impact increase. This guy hits like a freight train. It's actually insane how good that is. And then for the rest of this effect, increases speed of all allies by 20% when character's frostbite resistance is increased. Now this is okay, but it doesn't start from turn 1. You have to use one of your action skills first to actually get this speed up. So even though you might not have the speed advantage turn 1, if you do your action skills in the right order, you could potentially have the speed advantage turn 2 because of this Todoroki, because he speeds all your allies up by 20%. So we might see the way that works in Ultra Arena. We'll see when we get there and actually do our match, but that could be useful. It could be useful, right? And then the last part of the first auto skill also increases defense of all allies by 20% when character's burn resistance is increased. So increasing your defense, like, it seems pretty decent overall. The only problem I have with his auto skill is that it does require you to use your action skills first before the full auto skill takes effect, which is that's the part I don't like. Up until you basically have used your action skills, you just don't have a first auto skill unless you have an EX skill that increases your max HP. Then you're going to get the increase in action skill impact for all allies starting turn 1. So that could be decent. His second auto skill, Natural Airhead, increases critical hit rate of all ally and type characters by 20%. That's okay. I mean, how often do we run monotype teams though, where we're running all green type units in Ultra Arena or VE Tower? Almost never. And the only place you would really end up doing this probably is Climax Battle, but the Climax Battle that would require this isn't out. So yeah, there's just not a whole lot of use for that right now. But increasing critical hit rate by 20% for N-type characters, it could potentially, maybe, be useful in VE Tower if somehow you were going to run an all green team. So keep that in mind. And with that in mind, I am going to be running the new Starry Night Todoroki alongside the original green general pool Todoroki. so that he's getting that extra 20% crit rate in addition to the crit rate from the Uraraka that we're bringing along. And so we have our Starry Night Todoroki lowering his action skill cooldown time by 1, making it 4 turn cooldowns, and then we have Uraraka lowering his action skill cooldown time again, making them 3 turn cooldowns. So let's just hop into this double S difficulty of the Flame Stage VE Tower and see how this team performs, see how the new Todoroki performs. Endeavor has 697,000 health, and for both of the Starry Night Todoroki's action skills, it says when used in a successfully executed skill chain. It does not say second or third, so we can actually use his action skills first, which is nice. I like that they did not limit him to being in a certain skill order, which makes him a little bit more versatile and easier to use for VE Tower teams. We are going to be using his Ice Fog skill first because that's going to increase the max HP of all allies, and that's going to help us out with his auto skill that we read before. If you don't remember what that auto skill was, rewind the video, look at what the auto skill was. But anyways, it's also going to give us burn resistance to all our allies for 3 turns when used in a successfully executed skill chain, which is another reason we are going to be using this skill. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this skill with our Uraraka, and then we're going to use our freeze with Todoroki. The reason I'm using the freeze first is because it's a 4 turn cooldown, whereas this one is a 5 turn cooldown. So I want to have all my action skills back up after the plus ultra turn on turn 3. So with all that said, I know it's a lot, guys. Let's go ahead and start this turn. We did not get the freeze, but we did land the crit. We got the stun, and then we got the freeze right there. So that's 2 status ailments. And keep in mind, Starry Night Todoroki's freeze right there is an AoE freeze, which we're not really getting the ability to see the full effect of that AoE freeze right here. We might get to see it in Ultra Arena, but with so many nullifications going on, we might not. But just keep in mind, in other VE towers where you're taking on multiple opponents, that AoE freeze is going to be massive, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this, this, and this. And this is going to give us some more resistance right here just for reference. And it has a medium chance of burning as well, but it's going to give us freeze and frostbite resistance, but that doesn't matter, of course, because we're taking on Endeavor. But this part is important. It's going to increase his skill impact by 35% when his max HP is increased. So we should see this skill hit really hard because he's getting 30% from the auto skill from having his max HP increased, plus another 35% right here on this action skill. So he's getting 65% skill impact increase. He should hit fairly hard. So let's see how hard he hits. That was actually pretty good numbers. Like, look at the other two for comparison. They're hitting 14,000, 13,000. I think that Todoroki was kind of covered up right there. I think it was around 50,000. I would have to actually go back, pause the video, or play it in slow-mo, like, or something like that. But I'm doing this live, of course, so I can't rewind the video. But if I were like screen recording or something like that, that's what I'd have to do to see the damage number. But that damage number, I promise you, was considerably higher than the other two characters. So that skill impact is actually really good, but you do have to be careful in VE Tower. Now, I want to point out, even though Endeavor has attacked us, if you look at the little icons above our heads, none of our characters are burning, so that burn resist is doing its job. It lasts for 3 turns, so this is our last turn of having burn resist right here, but so far no one's burning, which is good. Let's go ahead and use our plus ultras. Don't forget, this plus ultra is going to shorten our action skill cooldown time and give all of our allies a barrier. No burn there, we resisted it. You saw the little resist pop up, which is nice. 25,000. All right, let's see how much he does. Let's watch this plus ultra. I actually really like that, the Night Sky. 99,999 damage on the 3rd turn. That is very good. Very good damage. And he should do a lot right here too, because he's type advantage and he's getting 30% skill impact increase from the Starry Night Todoroki. He did 80,000. So yeah, having Starry Night Todoroki on the team, actually really, really good. We'll go ahead and we'll use these skills here. Just repeat what we did turn 1. And we should have a good amount of technical hits. We're going to kill him here on turn 4, I would bet. So 4 turns in, 4 turn clear, not bad. Let's see how many technical, status elements, and crits we got within 4 turns. Ooh, we got the freeze that time. Oh, and a 95,000 damage attack. Jeez. But we did get the freeze right there. So we might, I don't know. Let's see how many status elements we have. I don't think we got quite 5. Oh, we were close. We were close to having 5 status elements. Okay, so that's not terrible. That was not terrible. We had 4 status elements. We had 13 technical hits. We had 18 critical hits. That was honestly fairly decent for taking on a VE tower in 4 turns, and that is something you could actually correct and try over and over again to eventually get like the perfect 20 crits. Well, yeah, 20 crits that you'd be looking for. The status elements, the technicals are a given, so that could actually be a really good scoring team. So Starry Knight Todoroki, actually amazing in VE Tower. I think he's going to go towards the top of the tier list when I do the tier list eventually. Let's take a look at Ultra Arena though and see how he performs. We are going to be taking on this team right here, mainly because I'm hoping they'll be slower than us and we'll get to see what Todoroki can do before he dies. Now, I'm going to be clear. I don't expect to win. My Todoroki's only level 90. And it's going to be a hard fight. He's not fully board 13, right? But we'll hopefully at least kind of get to see what he can do. So let's go ahead and hop in and see how it goes. All right, as we get into this, we are going against Aizawa, Midoriya, and Kirishima. We have no choice but to target Kirishima, but we do have 3 attack alls, and let's see if we are first. We are going to be first. Okay, so I don't believe, yeah, they're not going to be able to nullify turn 1, so let's see if we can get some stuns or some freezes or stuff like that. Maybe we should do Todoroki more towards, let's actually do Todoroki at the end, so hopefully we can freeze and throw off their skill chain. I think that will be the smarter way to do this, so let's go ahead and do it. No stuns, and we did get 2 freezes though, which is massive. Okay, that actually helps out a lot, and if you look at their health, that's solid. I would argue that's actually very solid. That's good. Okay, we continue. We're gonna go ahead and do this. See if we can get a burn on Kirishima. It will get nullified anyways because of Deku, but eh. Oh, actually, I didn't realize Kirishima was low enough. I thought he was still above half health. He was below half health, so we were able to target Aizawa. That's interesting. Okay. Now what I worry about is surviving because they might outdamage us. We're actually looking okay. Okay, let's go ahead and use our plus ultra. So here's the problem with Todoroki's plus ultra. The problem is we do not have an attack all with him. So he's also doesn't have Pierce. He's not going to do a whole lot of damage to Kirishima. The only person who's actually going to be able to do damage right now is the Uraraka. And we'll see if she's actually able to kill anyone, but I kind of doubt it. We are going to be able to get a barrier with Todoroki right here, but it doesn't matter because they're not plus ultraing us, so we're just going to barrier some normal attacks. But I mean, burying 1 normal attack is still fine. We'll take that. It's better than nothing, right? All right, let's go ahead and do this. All right, the attack all did actually kill Aizawa, so that's good for us. All right, we'll turn the speed down and actually watch the plus ultra animation a little bit slower this time for Todoroki because I actually really like this plus ultra animation right here. It looks so good with the night sky. Like, you can't tell me that doesn't look good. It looks so good, but it does no damage right against Kirishima, so just keep that in mind. And I think Todoroki's actually a pretty decent defensive speed up character, but just in terms of damage, he's going to be hard to use in this current like AoE meta, right? All right, so we have a turn where we don't have any action skills. That's fine. We're gonna see how surviving goes right here. Oh, yep, and there's the Ida deletion that I was telling you guys about that would happen, right? Todoroki got completely deleted right there, and that is pretty much what I expected, but that's okay. I feel okay with how this battle went because I feel like you guys got to see how good he actually was. He was giving our team extra defense, he was giving our team extra speed, and I feel like those things helped us out quite a bit. And as long as you have a Todoroki that's leveled up, I feel like he could be useful in Ultra Arena, but mine, unfortunately, I do believe is just too low of a level to show you guys a fully, like, a really good showcase for this Todoroki. But anyways, guys, I'm going to end the video there. I'm not going to play through the rest of this match on video because the whole purpose was to showcase that Todoroki, right? If you guys enjoyed the video. Please go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I have finally gotten most of my stuff put away for the house, so I will be showing you guys the house. I will be doing a house tour for the new house that I've just moved in very shortly. I will be doing that on my More DRC3 channel, so if you guys have not subscribed or checked out that channel, please go and do that if you guys would like to see that house tour. Also check out my DRC3 Reacts channel. I'll be adding some more reacts here coming up shortly. I've just been trying to get situated with the house and everything that's going on, and I'm starting to get there, guys. So if you guys haven't checked out those channels, please go check those out. Thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.